Welcome to a dose of inspiration for the solo traveller. Today's expert interview is with Kach Medina, who runs the blog Two Monkeys Travel. Kach is originally from the Philippines and has lived in Peru for 6 months and is going to give us an insight into this magical country. Hi Kach, great to meet you.
Hi, Lisa. Nice to talk to you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Yes.
But just before we talk about Peru, can you give us a bit of an insight into your background and how you ended up in Peru?
Yeah, sure. I'm okay. You already introduced me. My name is Kach. I'm from the Philippines, but I work and live in the Middle East for 4 years. I live in Kuwait and Iraq. And in 2013, I've decided that I wanted to take a break from my career. So, I booked my one-way flight to the Philippines for 10 days just to handle some things. And then I continued my backpacking in Southeast Asia. That's when I've met my partner, Jonathan. We've met in Luang Prabang, Laos. And, unexpectedly, we started dating. We actually separated ways. And then we started dating. He was on a motorbike trip with his best friend. And then he ended up teaching in Hanoi. So I followed him, and we were a couple since 2013. And when we were in Vietnam, we were planning for a big trip, so we could plan for a trip around some countries in Asia, and then we went to Southeast Asia. Then we went to India for 3 months, studied, and we went to the UK, and we flew we're planning to do a around the world trip route. So, and we ran out of money, so we decided to stay in Peru for a longer time.
Wow, sounds like you've been on the road for a long time.
It's 2 years. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, and you said you met your partner on the road as well. Did you ever expect that to happen when you took off with your backpack?
No, I was expecting to meet a lot of travelers, like it's normal. You meet someone and then you separated ways, but I didn't expect that you'll meet your life partner. And actually, a few months ago, we got engaged and we'll be getting married next year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So how does the culture in Peru compare to that from the Philippines?
Actually, it's so funny because I love the culture of Peru because it's like this almost the same in the Philippines. Like I've been traveling around Southeast Asia and it's completely different. Like compared to the China, like Philippines is different because we were colonized by Spain. And when we arrived in Peru, I was so surprised because some of them really looks like me. They thought I was local, and the food are like almost the same. We don't have like the guinea pig though. Like we don't have that in the Philippines, but they have adobo, ceviche, and stuff. But we call it different in my country, but it's the same ingredients and same everything. And the parent there's tradition which is the same in the Philippines, maybe because of the Spanish the Spanish influence.
So many miles, and then you just feel at home in a country in South America.
Yeah, that's weird though.
How are women perceived in Peru?
It's actually funny because if you're Asian, you're Filipino, you look the same as the locals, and it's fine. I think like Peru has a lot of tourists already, so they are fine with it. But it's only in the area of Lima and Cusco. But if you go to other like towns, and they are not used to it, or like they have this different mentality. Especially if I have a friend that she's American and she's blonde, and the people assume that she's just in Peru looking for Latinos. They have a term there, like one time they thought because I'm with Jonathan and Jonathan is British, like he's blonde, so they thought all blondes are gringo. They don't distinguish like European or what. It's just like gringo. And they thought like I was a local girl trying to get this gringo. So they thought I was a hooker. But like if it's a woman, like if you're like a solo female, blonde hair, walking around in other small towns, they think like you're looking for a Latino. Like usually you're looking for artisanas.
Oh
It's
no.
just like rare incidents. Like if it's just like small town or small city where they're not used to seeing tourists.
Yeah, so I guess if she just said no to the guys, then they would just leave her alone, would they?
Yeah, but like some like the Latino looks are really attractive. So you'll meet a lot of couples there who are gringa and the local, like the men are locals.
Oh, okay. And have you met many other women travelling alone there?
We've met a lot of people traveling alone in Peru, and sometimes I was traveling on my own. Actually, Peru is really easy to travel. It's easy to go around because like the bus system is It's easy, and there are backpacker routes, like there are chain of hostels where you can stay here and then you'll meet the same group in the next destination. And like I think if you're gonna go backpacking, you'll meet a lot of fellow backpackers who's doing the same route as you, like maybe starting from Central America to Ushuaia, or Ushuaia going up. So it's the same loop. So it's
Okay.
yeah, so if you want to solo travel, it's easy for you.
And you said that the best way to get around is by bus. So the bus is quite cheap. And how long are the journeys? I know that when I went, um, I flew from Lima to Cusco actually, but you can get the buses as well.
Yes, you can get the buses. Like, actually, we traveled around like South America with in other countries by bus. Like we were crossing borders. But if you will travel in Peru, there are hop on and hop off bus, and there is also like you can easily book it online, like the same rate as going to the bus station, and it's cheap. But if you want to like to feel like VIP, because in the bus there's two kinds of ticket. If you're in the down floor, it's a VIP, so they'll give you meal, like a blanket and a TV. And
Wow.
second floor, like, and it's a like semi no, not it's like a Tama 160 degrees, something like that. It's so good, and I remember paying from Cusco to Lima. We paid I think $50, and we had the VIP bus. You can book it with passportal.pe.
Busportal.be.
PE, like Peru. Yeah,
Okay.
and a lot of locals book it there directly. They have discount codes, so you can have discounts like compared to the bus station. The difference is actually you can't haggle online, you know. So if you like haggling, you need to go to the bus station. But if you're fine, you don't like inconvenience, because if you're gonna take a taxi to the bus station and leaving, it's the same cost. And if it's last minute booking, it's fine. But like sometimes you can't get the seat that you want.
Okay. I guess if you're by yourself, it doesn't matter too
Yeah,
much
and
with the.
don't just I support like some travel agency and stuff, but like if you're gonna go to touristy area, they are like double the price, you know. So I suggest do it online or go to the bus station and do the haggling.
Okay, great tip. And what do you think is Peru's attraction for women who want to travel alone? Obviously, you've got the magical Machu Picchu.
Yeah. Okay, there's different route. You need to know like if you like the adventure, you like the cultural, or you like to party. You like adventure. So what I suggest you do the this route, like you can do the hop on hop off bus with this as well. Like you could do the Lima to Ica, and you'll just visit the old traditional. Like there's a lot of immigrants there, like they are like the black people who used to be slave, and then now they are the one who lives in Ica. So you'll meet a lot of the culture there in Ica. And
Okay.
from Ica you can go to Huacachina. No, you go to Paracas. Paracas has the Ballestas Island. I don't know if you've heard about that.
No, I haven't.
You'll see a lot of sea lions, and they have their own penguin, like the Peruvian penguin. They're so
Oh,
tiny, and you have to take like the boat going there from Paracas. It's like 30 minutes by boat, and it's only $13 if you'll do a tour. And from Paracas, they have a national park which is really nice, and you can do like kite surfing as well, and it's cheap. And from Paracas, you can take another bus going to Huacachina, and in Huacachina, it's the biggest sand dunes in South America.
wow.
So it's a small oasis, and you can enjoy like the buggy, and then we've been sunboarding there. It's amazing. It's different from the normal, like the other kind of boarding. It's so awesome. And I've been to Dubai, so it's like the same.
Okay. Wow. I didn't even realize that was in Peru because when I went, I obviously took the tourist route and I didn't really see many hidden gems. So, are there many hidden gems in the country?
Yeah, there's a lot. Like I was so surprised because like we've learned it from the locals. Like um, there's one in Arequipa which is starting to be famous as well. But if you will do this route, it's better if you will be coming from Cusco to Arequipa, Arequipa to Puno, Puno to Bolivia. So there is a place in Arequipa. Usually people only go to Colca Canyon, and but because we live in Arequipa for a while, and we discovered there's this place they called it Ruta de Silar. It's like white stones, and it's like if you will go there, it looks like the Petra Jordan, but
Wow.
white. I have a
Wow.
photo. I can send it to you, like if you want to share it to your
Yeah,
leaders.
that'd be great.
and and you can only go there by taxi. Like you could just book a taxi, like $2 to bring you there. And it's not famous to tourists. I wanted to start writing about it actually, but like it's very rare to, and there's no tours going on there yet.
So that's definitely a hidden gem and a place that you should visit when you go there.
You should go there. It's so nice, and then you'll learn because Arequipa is famous. It's called the White City of Peru, and because it is made of all the white rock, which you can get from the Ruta de Silan. Of course, if you go to Peru, you need to go also to Nazca to take the plane to Nazca line. And there's a lot of things to do in Peru because it's usually only like famous for Machu Picchu and Lake Titicaca, but there's a lot of things to do.
And you mentioned about the party traveller as well. And where, if you wanted to go on the party route, where would you go in Peru?
Okay, if you want to go surf and party, then what you're gonna do is, like I told you, there's a lot of party hostels in Peru,
Yeah.
and what you can do is from Lima to north, like on the way to Ecuador. So Lima going to Mancora. When we last talked, we were in Mancora, so it's like insane partying there. That area, like the beach area, the beach part of Peru, is the party town. And there's more towns in the north of Mancora before you enter Ecuador. But you just need to be careful, because it's the border crossing, and there's a lot of crimes happening.
Okay, that was my next question actually, is what would you avoid in the country? So you would just be careful within the border area between Peru and Ecuador?
Yeah, just be careful there because, like they've said, like there's a lot of drugs going on. If it's not your thing, then you don't have to be worried. But if you're in a touristy area as well, like even in Cusco, there's people there. Like if there are tourists, then there are opportunists. So they will wherever you go. There's still people who can take advantage of you. So you just need to be aware of your like belongings and your surrounding.
True. So if you were going there to see the culture, would you say that Machu Picchu, Sacred Valley, and Lake Titicaca to visit the Urus people because they live on these reed islands, don't they? I think that's
Yeah.
a really good place to go. But would you say there's anything else for culture?
You should go to Puno, but if you will go to Machu Picchu, I suggest please explore the Sacred Valley. It's the best place. Like Cusco is so beautiful, but like if you could just travel 2 3 hours, just go to Sacred Valley and then go to Ollantaytambo, Urubamba, Maras, and there's a lot. And then you will meet a lot of expats living there because they like there's magical spirits something in that area.
Okay. If you personally only had 2 weeks, what would your perfect itinerary be?
If you're gonna do 2 weeks, just do of course, you'll go to Peru because you want to go to Machu Picchu. So like do this route like Lima to Paracas, Paracas to Huacachina,
Yeah.
Huacachina to side trip to Nazca. Like just to see the Nazca line, which is very famous in the world now, and from Nazca to Cusco. Then Cusco, you can take the bus going to Arequipa, Arequipa Puno to Lake Titicaca. If you want to do all of it, you can fly, but like if you can just plan the itinerary, you can message me if you need help. So yeah, you can do those 7 cities in 2 weeks.
Okay, I know that when I went and I flew into Cusco, I wasn't prepared for the altitude sickness that I felt. And as soon as I got off the plane, I felt very woozy and I was suggested to drink cocoa tea, which I drank a
Yeah.
lot of until I kind of leveled out a bit. But I'm quite a reasonably fit person and I got there and I wasn't expecting to feel something from the altitude. So do you have any recommendation for people that might be suffering from that as well?
Yeah, when you go to Cusco, it's funny. Like when you go there, there are people who are selling like small tube, like it's for the air, like if you're running out of air. But like uh if you want to buy that, that would be cool. And there are like clinics everywhere there, just for oxygen, because it's so high. Like, of course, if you're coming from Lima going to Cusco, it's really high altitude.
Yeah.
And I suggest like, yeah, buy the coca leaves and just drink tea every morning. And it's
And
funny 'cause you'll just have a hard time like breathing, but you will like it.
yeah, it just
It's
takes a
just like on
while.
the first day that it will be hard.
That's true. It just takes a while to get acclimatized, doesn't it? But you can buy oxygen tubes, you said in
Yeah,
Cusco.
yeah, you can buy it. Go to Cusco and you'll just go to the center near the church, and you can easily buy it there.
Wow, okay. So, what would you say to someone who's going to Peru alone for the first time and they might be feeling a bit apprehensive about it?
Don't be afraid. You'll meet a lot of fellow travelers there, and the locals are really, really nice. If you need help, like planning your route in Peru, you can easily message me, and I could give you our itinerary. Actually, we published some on our blog, and the hike to Machu Picchu and other stuff. You'll meet a lot of like travelers there, so don't be afraid.
Okay, and would you say that you need to speak a bit of Spanish to get by in Peru?
You just need to learn the basics, like especially if you're gonna go to other town, like which is not where there's not a lot of English speaking people. So you need to learn the basic of how donde esta, where to go, and then for the food actually because in especially in Cusco, uh, like there's a lot of restaurants and most of them are selling pizza. But if you want to try like local meals and really cheap, you can just ask for the Hoi menu. Hoi menu,
Okay,
it means the day menu, and it's only $6. It's $2.
that's a bargain, isn't it? Because Peru's quite cheap, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but like if you go to the touristic town, they might feed you like a hamburger and maybe they'll give you alpaca burger, which is unique, and pizza. But if you want to try the local food, then you can just tell them you can ask for the Hoi menu. Hoi menu, please.
Okay, and stay away from the guinea pig unless you're feeling a bit adventurous. Oh, it's so difficult when I used to have one as a pet, so it's just difficult seeing it deep fried, completely
Yeah.
intact on a plate in front of you.
Did you try it in Cusco?
No, no, I couldn't.
Okay. That would be
But I know that when I went, like you were saying, there's a lot of pizza restaurants and they have the clay ovens as well, so you can see them making the pizza, and it's nice. And if you're going and it's a bit of a cold temperature, then it's nice and warm and cozy in those restaurants. And we used to get bands that used to come in, and they used to be playing the traditional instruments and singing the traditional songs, and it's just a really nice experience having dinner out in Peru.
Yeah, I really like the food of Peru and the ambience especially. So I think like you ate in Cusco, you love it.
And is there anything else that you want to add about Peru?
If you want to live there as an expat, like all of the tourists usually get like 6 months visa, 183 days. But if you're
Okay.
going to cross the border, you get 90 days, and you can easily extend it. There's a lot of expats in Peru. Like if you decided to like it, then there's a lot of teaching jobs, especially for Westerners, and there's a lot of volunteering. But just choose a place where to volunteer. I'm not a fan of like you have to pay to volunteer. I don't like it. So if you need some contacts, we have local friends there who are looking for volunteers, and they'll even provide you food and accommodation, and you don't have to pay. You just need to give your time and effort.
That's great. Is that how you managed to stay on the road for so long? Because I was going to ask you about sustainable long-term travel, because obviously you've been on the road for a couple of years. So.
Yeah. Yeah, usually what we do is like we invested in our skills. So Jonathan, I didn't know about TEFL teaching because I'm Asian. Like how can I teach? It's not my first language. But Jonathan is British, and he took his TEFL certificate before leaving the UK. And then when we were in Vietnam, I studied to be TEFL certified. And then we went to India. We studied yoga. So we are now certified Tantra yoga teachers, and we studied Ayurveda, which is related to Tantra. So what we do is like we go to a place and then volunteer for a while, feel the vibe if we like it, and then we decide we're going to get our apartment. We like to volunteer, so we get, like we don't have to pay for accommodation and get free food and use the kitchen, so we can save money.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And you mentioned about yoga as well. That's one of your future goals, isn't it? To open or to build your own yoga resort.
The good thing about traveling is like you'll meet we stayed in a lot of places, so we stayed in some eco lodge hostels and resorts, and we have a journal. So whenever we stay in a place, we just take note like what we want to have from this place to our future place, but we have to consider the weather as well. So all our experience like teaching yoga, doing massage and stuff, that's what we want to apply in our future place, because of course we want to settle down, but we want to still travel in between. So I don't think we're going to return to like a career. So we want to have our own business.
Fantastic. You're creating your own future. It's great. And just quickly going back to Peru for a second, if you had to summarize Peru in 3 words, which words would you use?
If it's 3 words, it is awesome.
Okay, that's easy.
But like authentic, delicious, and delicious because the food in Peru is the best in South America. So if you go to different cities and countries, you'll always find a Peruvian restaurant, which is weird. And
That's true. There's one in Colombia actually.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
see Chinese food and Peruvian food. And authentic, the Quechua is still there. And the locals still wear their old clothes, like the traditional clothes. It's my second home in South America. I really love Peru.
So where can people go to find out more about you, Catch?
We're blogging over at Two Monkeys Travel. Like our website is http Two Monkeys Travel Group. We call it group.com. And on Facebook, yeah, Two Monkeys Travel, like TWO Monkeys and Travel. And on Twitter, it's number two Monkeys Travel. And on Instagram, we'll catch Two Monkeys. You can send me an email anytime or message me on Facebook if you need the help planning your itinerary in Peru.
Catch, thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you every success in the future.